G'day and welcome to Utah the Aussie. Hang on, take that off, might be easier to hear me. So, today's episode is going to be about what I take with me to a gel ball field. Obviously, I take my blaster. Now I have 3 of them, so I usually will take all 3 of them, simply because I have a Wells CQB blaster, so for any CQB fields that I might go onto. I then do have my Gen 8.5, which is more of an open field, but can also be used as a CQB blaster because it is somewhat shorter, but it is a little bit too big, so it's usually just the backup blaster in that sense. And then I also do take my SEMA, 2 seconds, which is my favourite blaster at the moment. Now, this one is what I'll use primarily for open fields, and then my CQB Wells is what I'll use primarily for close quarter combat. But the Gen 8.5 is there for a backup blaster if either one of these fail on the day. Yeah. I take my carrier plate, which holds 3 magazines in the front. I'll take my tactical belt, which has a double mag holder on my left side, and my speed loader dump bag on my right side. Now, when changing mags, it's a lot easier to have a mag in your blaster, for example, and instead of throwing it into there, I'll just throw it straight into there, grab another mag out, and away she goes. But, in saying that, I do only have 2 magazines for my Gen 8.5. I do need to acquire more, but I bought that, and then not very long at all after I bought the Gen 8.5, I bought my SEMA, and then I bought more mags for that one. So there's that. So I take all 3 of my blasters because the last thing I want is to go out to a field day and be using my blaster, which happened to me just the other day, well, the other weekend, last time I went out, I was using my SEMA, and I can't remember what component it was, but something inside the gearbox let go. We didn't let go, it broke, so I had to get it replaced, and then all I was left with was my CQB Wells, because I decided I'd only take 2 blasters with me. That was my first mistake, because my brand new blaster is the Wells, and I wanted my mate to have a little bit of a go with it, and he was having feeding issues with his blaster with the gels that we were using. So by the time my blaster decided he doesn't want to play anymore, and I went to go grab my CQB Wells, I probably got another hour out of it, and then we had to go home, which was probably about an hour and a half before the end of the day, which wasn't too bad. Still had a great day, still had a lot of fun, but I like to be there for the whole day. So, but yes, so these are the things that I take. I do take, obviously, my face shield with the safety lenses on the inside as well, but I also do take a backup pair of iPro, and I don't have to use the face shield, but that is there for the CQB settings, which I just leave on because I'm lazy. So I always take 2, just in case for some reason, for example, a lens pops out, or a lens gets cracked, or you fall over and you break your face shield, or something along those lines where you can't use your iPro anymore and you have to use a different iPro. I always take 2 for that reason. So those 2 go straight into my gear bag. It's a little Nike duffel bag, but it does the job. Now the next thing I make sure that I do, now I have a system in place. I will pack my gear bag, I will pack my guns away, I'll pack my blasters away, and I will make sure that all my mags are working prior, and then I will put them into my gear bag as well. But I also, the day before I go gel blasting, I'll make sure that all my batteries are charged, even batteries that I might not use, So I have three 11-volt batteries that will fit either the Gen 8.5 or my SEMA with just the standard connection, which I am thinking about replacing because they aren't the greatest, but they definitely do get the job done. And then I only have one battery for my wells, which is the reason why I ran out of power and had to go home early. So I do need to buy another one of these, but in saying that, hopefully my friend will decide to buy some more batteries for his blaster, and also well, we're going to be using different gels in the future because we were using the Ozgel Ultras, and they seem to provide a bit of a feeding issue amongst blasters. The only blaster that seemed to love them at the time frame that they were soaked for was in fact my CQB wells, whereas my SEMA did not like it, and I'm sure my Gen 8.5 would have hated it, considering my mate has the exact same blaster, Gen 8.5. His is not modified, but I'd imagine it still would have hated it. Anyways, not the point. So I've got the 4 in total 11-volt batteries that I will have charged the night before. I will also, not that I have used them, I will take my 7.4 volts just in case. I highly doubt I will ever need them, but if a battery cell dies and the whole battery decides it's had enough, well then I've got these. Only problem being, as I said in the last video, my blasters have been modified and the 7.4 volt batteries don't quite do the job anymore. So I'm just taking them and praying, hopefully. But usually I'll take them. I obviously don't wear all this stuff the day before, so I don't usually have to take it off. But I do make sure that it is all in the bag. It usually just stays in the bag. I'm not going to wrap it up properly because, well, can't be bothered. So that goes in there, into my duffel bag with all the gear. 2 of my blasters will also go in the duffel bag with the gear, considering I've only got one small gun bag, which is for my SEMA. I do have a double gun bag coming, which will be primarily for obviously my SEMA, my Gen 8.5, and then the oversized gun bag will be for my little CQB wells if I decide, or I will just keep putting it in my gear bag. Not quite sure yet. So those are the things that I make sure that are good and ready to go. As I said, extra mags, extra mags, extra mags. I mean, you can go out with one and a speed loader, you're still going to have an abundance of fun, but it's just so much easier to have more than just one mag. And trust me, even with 2, for me, I feel that that is too little amount, which is generally why I won't, why I didn't take my Gen 8.5 the other day when I went gel blasting, is because my mate has one and he's only got 1 mag. He said he still had a lot of fun when he went down one day and used the higher stuff, and all he had was a speed ladder and the 1 mag, which, don't get me wrong, I absolutely believe, but I tend to let him borrow these 2 until he gets his own mag, so I hope he gets more soon, because I'd like to use my Gen 8.5 one day. I won't put them back in the bag yet. I'll sort that out after the video. And for my CQB wells, I have 3 mags. Now, I need to go back to school. I have 4 mags. Now, this is the mag that came with the blaster. It's a little bit different in pattern as compared to that one, as you can see. Now, they look the same. They have all the same features, except for the look. But I find that you really do need to buy the mag that comes with the blaster, if you can. These are supposedly the right mags for the blaster. The connection's the same, everything that looks to be important about them is the same, but generally I have to put these in and then give them a tap on the butt to make them go in. which is not exactly the most ideal situation considering it's putting a lot of strain on my T-piece and barrel. But in saying that, I have, hang on, I have three Cyma mags, and then I have one HK mag. Now the HK does fit, but I have to do the same thing with the HK mag as I do with the Wells. Actually, I have to do it for all of them really. Put them in and bump them up a bit more. For some reason, even the mag that came with it. So a little bit frustrating because it is putting a little bit more strain on my blasters on the T-piece, but it seems to do the job. The next thing, quickly and lastly, is my gels. Now these don't go into the bag as they are. I soaked them for about 4 hours prior and before the day, so before time to start playing, and that will usually get me through the day. It's just one whole bag of these. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and until I see you next time, stay safe.